Okay, here we go. Ryan Castle says, a campaign at University of Wisconsin-Madison began a few years ago to ban the sale of single-use water bottles on campus. As it turns out, the organization sponsoring the campaign has the power to force every student to pay fees. Imagine. The Associated Students of Mordor is trying to take away our choice. As a freshman at the university who held my tongue for an entire semester, I'm ready to start mocking these weenies as I see them and taking down their pro-choice agenda. Any advice on how to convert those who can be saved and leave the orcs to soak in their collectivist filth? I took that question, Ryan, because I love the question. I love the way it's phrased, and I'm always happy to help young people. Here's the thing, Ryan. I say it all the time. We got a question about this coming up, which is great. Every time you look at a progressive do something appalling, I heard there's a new expression out, which is actually a great expression. I don't particularly tend to like these kind of great expressions, but nevertheless, this is a very descriptive one, and it's called virtue signaling. Virtue signaling is when you do something to show off how good you are. And basically, virtue signaling is a new expression for everything I've been talking about for 10 years now. The left has to have this unearned moral superiority. They have to be seen to be better than you. So basically what's happening is they're trying to ban single-use plastic bottles on your campus to show you and everyone else how much they care about the environment and how much better person they are because they care about the environment than you who just happens to drink a water, and just wanted to have a drink. So, as I always say, if you're going to go after these people, go after their unearned moral superiority. And you're not going to win the battle by pointing out that single bottles are recyclable or anything. The way you win on this particular argument, I think, Ryan, is find out how much money they made. Find out how much money they made. If you're what you're saying here is that they're using students to pay fees, they're forcing them to pay fees. Then find out how much money they made, or make an estimate, and then go out and protest. Just say the people who are sponsoring this bill are filthy one percenters. They're in it for the money. If they weren't in it for the money, they wouldn't take the money, but they are taking the money. Make it about the money, because this is where they live, right? You're hitting them where they live. They hate capitalism. They hate the rich. They hate the one percenters. Accuse them of being one. Accuse them of stealing money from citizens who simply want to have the choice of recycling a bottle, not recycling a bottle, or whatever. They want to take away your choice by force in order to get power and money. And when you accuse them of wanting power and money, then you basically make them into what they claim to hate. And then they do that. You're probably too young. You're certainly too young for this. There was an episode of Star Trek. Was it Mud's Women? I think so. Where all these androids had little name tags and numbers. They were different, versions of the same set of copies. And these androids were capable of answering simple questions, but whenever they got into a tough question, they had to go back to the lead android, whose name was Norman. And so needless to say, the way that Spock and Kirk got out of this thing was by setting up logic traps that they couldn't get out of, and then they just go, Norman, coordinate, Norman, coordinate. And Norman couldn't coordinate, and their heads literally explode. Smoke start coming out of their ears. And that's what you have to do to these people, Ryan. You have to accuse them of taking the money and using the power to deny people the choice because of their own personal greed and their own personal will to tell other people what to do. Make them into the bad guys. See what happens. Let me know. I get the feeling it'll be a productive line of attack. Keep me posted.